Hey, what's up YouTube? I owe you an update. You've been asking for one. The car is essentially finished now. Some minor things I've been doing, working on. The interior was the last thing I finished. So last thing I had to do was make a shifter, I wish I say shifter, emergency brake boot cover and the bezel that goes around the bottom. That turned out rather nicely. Pedal pads came in. Everything's done. It's a little dirty. I've been taking it to a bunch of car shows. I went up to Evansville, Indiana for the Evil Shindig. That's just sweat from my knee. I'm gonna have to get a good aluminum polish, take out like things that aren't really scuffs but more of like a residue. Otherwise it's staying pretty clean. Also went to Nashville Cars and Coffee on the first of the last month, I think. Last month's first Saturday, whatever you want to call it. But everywhere I take it, people seem to like the car, so that's good. Just very minor things I've been working out. I got the right steering wheel nut on there. The horn's hooked up. The seats are reupholstered in ostrich fake leather. Need to vacuum out the inside. That bezel turned out pretty good. Made the e-brake boot myself as well as the shifter boot, but the seats I took and had them reupholstered. I'm glad I did. I couldn't have done such a good job. Minor paint touch-ups. The motor's been great. I got some gasket material. I need to make a tiny little ring gasket. I get a little bit of blow-by on the valve cover, so I'll make a little thing today. Just a paper thin oil gasket. I picked up some material from Napa. The engine's been great. The brakes are great. These tires, really everything. I did have to deal with the transmission mount. During mock-up I used the old one and it was just too sloppy, so when I finally bought a new one, it's on top of there. So when I got the new one, it was too stiff, too high, too rigid, too tall. So it created a vibration against the shell, or the drive shaft tunnel. So it's softening up. I think it'll go away eventually. But when you mock up an engine, make sure you use a new mount so it doesn't sag more than the final mount will. Everything's wired, everything's running great. It's essentially done. So I'm gonna take it to the Raleigh Rumble. I guess it's Saturday, the 22nd of September. It's part of the Harley-Davidson Bike Fest. The Road Devils put on just a small car show. So I'll drag it all the way out there and show it off. The suspension's pretty rigid. I'm probably going to soften it up over the winter. Take a spring out of there, move the spring perches further apart. It's pretty, bumps that'll knock your teeth out in a modern car. This thing will go airborne. Otherwise, it drives like it's on rails. With the panhard bar in the back and the panhard bar in the front, it tracks really true. In fact, the only wobble in the suspension is in the tire wall. I can shake her. Yeah. So that's it. That's your update. She's done. I still need to work out this upper column mount. Just need like a little spacer in there because there's a bit of a gap, but that'll help support the column. GPS speedometer in there works great. I tucked the oil pressure and water temperature into the side here. That's just my battery tether. All the wiring's pretty well tucked up there. So, if you have any questions, leave them below. If you want to see something more in depth, just ask and I'll shoot a video for you. But I'm happy she's done, and right now I'm trying to take her everywhere. In fact, October 13, I'll be going up to Ohio, Dayton, for the Lowdown Hoedown, also a Road Devil car show put on by the Ohio chapter. You should come out to that if you're local, either to Raleigh this weekend or Dayton, Ohio on the, I believe it's 13-14 October. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.